Let's see if it is coming somewhere else. Somebody. Okay, some link is there. No? The video has been removed by the uploader.
Yeah. Why so?
No.
What's this going
Let me
on?
open the previous one.
No, it's coming, sir. See? It's coming.
Which link you clicked?
Now 98 number.
Where is 98 number?
That is opening.
Where is only two are coming?
You and me only.
Where is 98 you said?
98 link number.
Okay. 98 link number.
WhatsApp में है देखो 98 पर. This.
No, that side it is removed.
You have got.
First he sent, no? First he sent one URL, no? In this mail. Full stack, join
This is right now, sir.
Send me that, no? Forward me that. 98 stuff. Add to contacts. Automatic name came. And then you can see the screen. 6 members joined. You're not listening. Sound is muted. It's muted, no? Not on mute.
Hello. Yeah, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah. So, how are you all? Now, here is a presentation regarding full stack development. First, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Monica from SkillUp, Assistant Manager for SkillUp. And here we are going to give you a brief discussion regarding the full stack development. And in this development, what and all you are going to do and why you should choose an full stack development course and how to define your career path. All these things play a vital role here, and you will be able to know you'll be knowing to get the clarity how you can proceed further. And I think this session will be helpful for you to guide you or lead to an prescribed path. So first of all, you need to know what is full stack development. It is a combination of both front end and back end, and where else you can have jobs on front end as well as on the back end also. And parallelly, if you are going to complete the course, and you will be able to work on either ways, either as a front end developer or back end developer, or completely as a full stack developer. And here comes the main essence, that is like what and all you're going to learn in the full stack development. Okay, so here we go. In this way we need to go first. Yeah, this is first of all SkillUp. What is SkillUp? And SkillUp is mainly with the motto get skills, get hired, and get a hike. And this about SkillUp. What do you know regarding SkillUp? The name itself is showing you that SkillUp is an training platform, a similar type of edutech platform, where and well, apart from the knowledge, you will be having the real time projects and experiences also. And mainly SkillUp is abided for the upskill of graduates, and the vision is to make the greatest or largest learning ecosystem in the world. This will be like a bridge between the academics and corporates. And the mission of SkillUp, the mission of SkillUp is will be providing the 24/7 support, and will be redirecting you to the different proposals and programs where you can easily access and learn from the scratch. And this will be helpful for you to proceed for your bright career. Okay, so mainly our certification from programs are for full stack developer and cloud computing, machine learning, data science, DevOps, and big data. Right now we are offering courses on these six specifications. And I think you need to know how the SkillUp sales and how the SkillUp placement ratio has been increased till now. So we have so far 1 million registered users, and we are having 20k plus enrolled courses, and 98% of the course will be completed and will be given only 2% will be given like real time projects experience, and the placement ratio is 91% so far. And how this skill up is going to be a bridge between the academics and IT industry. So curriculum of academics are not according to the standard of the IT industry right now. So to just uh, be active or patch the gap, we are just proceeding with the skill up program. And here not only you will be having the theory knowledge, as well as you will be having the real time projects experience. I mean to say, you'll be working on the real time projects also, along with a senior developer, that is either in a group or in an individual way. And what we feel is from academics, we directly feel that you are not ready to boom the industry with that theoretical knowledge. So you need some practical knowledge and the overall experience you require. So this part of the thing, you can think that you are going to get the practical knowledge from your project so far, but that the knowledge you have acquired through your projects, that is it may be my mini project or main project, will not even sufficient for you to get back to the IT industry. So we feel like you I mean, not only you, any graduate enrolling into the SkillUp program will be able to be efficient like an 1 to 2 years experienced IT employee. Okay, and here comes the solutions. as I told you in the earlier slide that how the gap is there and how it will be solved and all these things. So for my questions in the earlier slide, the solution is here. Curriculum is, as I told you, it is not according to the IT standards. So, and we need to be improvised, and to get ready for the industry, we need to improve skills by doing some real-time projects and having some live sessions with the senior developers, and this will be helping you in many different ways. Either it may be like getting the knowledge, or like knowledge transfer, or it will be in a position to handle the any complicated issue very simply. Okay, so in this way the skill up will be useful for you. And skill up programs, what are the skill up programs? For each and every graduate who are going to enroll with us will be awarded a certificate along for each and every course they have done along with us. And so far, coming to each and every training program, it is a collection of 6 to 7 simple programming languages. So that by the end of that course or training, you will be given certificates individually for each and every course. And the requirement from us is you need to be more proficient, and you need to be more particular about your careers, and you need to give more effort than a trainer. Okay, so in this scenario I would like to explain you that if trainer is going to impart only 10 to 15% of thing, you need to give 80% of effort to directly boom the industry like an experienced guy. Okay, and next, so far here is the study that we have conducted through our enrolled candidates, that so far we have got 20K people enrolled with us, and 18K have been placed already in the 8 different MNCs. So I could say that the placement ratio is more than 90%, and we are still striving hard to improve this placement ratio. And with your support and with your cooperation, we can easily go through this. And we are ready to help you 24 by 7 under any circumstance. The any queries or any requirements from your side will be solved through a single message given in our chat box in www.skillup.net. Okay, now see, this is how we get trained in the skill up. That is, first of all, you should be ready for the industry, and we are going to improve your placement ratio, and we are going to provide you higher quality industry ready professionalism. That means we are going to give you excuse me, real-time projects explanation, and you'll be working along with us either in teams or into the individually on a single module. That will be affecting, I mean, that will be useful for you to achieve higher tasks. And this is the contact number which you can get back to us for any queries, and this will be the website address. And this is like uh, if you want to resolve anything in and within a very short time, you can just mail to us. And coming to the full stack presentation, so this full stack development, right now I told you why you should be a full stack developer. So nowadays each and everything is going on the technology only, and that technology is having like I mean to say, any layman who is having a smartphone in his hand is going to uh, browse many apps. I can say more than 10 apps a day, otherwise 5 apps a day. So all these apps are being linked, or all these apps are being worked on the technology, and that is mainly, you can say, I can say that it is on cloud or scripting or anything. Okay, so this full stack development is right now a great and highly paid job in the industry, and a career turning point for any graduate. And what does a full stack developer do? He'll be helping with the design and development of the software, testing and debugging, and the code once which is written once is can be used anywhere. All these things will be there, and designing the user interactions on the web applications itself. I mean to say, in a single GUI, you can be able to process the uh, things directly. That is either you can have an one-to-one session, or like an product development session, or the project implementation session. Okay, and next, ensuring the cross platforms. I mean to say, like depending on the requirements of the client, you can have the combination of anything that is in front end and back end. Okay, and mainly the thing is here, the main thing is that now testing and maintaining the responsive designs. That means if you, in case you are going to create an application, and that it will be going to used by n number of people within a very short time, you need to just provide I mean, you should be ready for this to go and promote the apps, or promote the things very easily, and you can be very easily accessible. Okay, next, what your career as a full stack development. So the person with full stack development will be starting his career with 7 to 13 lakhs package, and will be proceeding for each and every stage and screening, and will be proceeded up to 70 lakhs to 80 lakhs per annum. And this will be like a great change in the life of an every graduate. So that will be very useful. And why we are particularly saying full stack development is, as I told you earlier, this is an just a combination of both front end and back end, along with the minimum programming skills. And any layman see, these are the things will be covered in the full stack development, that is front end HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and next is React JS and Node.js, and in back end you will be getting the Python. Database side you will be having MongoDB and MySQL, and frameworks you will be having Django and Flask. Okay, so after completing these 7 or 8 courses, I mean to say 7 or 8 programming languages, you will be ready to work on the industry projects. Okay, and working, once you start working on these industry projects, you will be acquiring the knowledge, and you will be in a position to solve the problems, each and every problem carefully. Okay, and you will be in a position to handle the situations. Now this is the main structure of cloud. In this cloud structure, you will be having the memory management along with the security for the data. Okay, whatever the data you are going to preserve, or you are going to maintain, will be very confidential, and it is more efficient also. And later, so in this way the data is arranged in an heap here. So this data is again made into blocks, and each and every block will be like handling the requirements of the customers, or requirements of the organization individually. Okay, and next is our motto of SkillUp. What is the motto of SkillUp? We are going to provide the real-time projects for each and every graduate, and we are going to offer the projects based on all these softwares, that is .NET, PHP, Zoomla, SQL, Java, and Drupal, like this. Okay, and next here is comes the servers. In this server mainly we are using Django, because it is very confidential, and it's very secured. Okay, and now I would like to transfer the call to my colleague, and he'll be able to teach you the things that are required for the full stack development. So, one Mr. Praveen, my colleague, will be handling the session. So, please be patient. Just a minute. Please hold on.
Thanks, Monica. Hi, this is Praveen, and hope you have got some overview about the course and the benefits of the full stack development course. I would continue uh, from here, and I would like to cover few of the topics related to full stack development, and we would begin with uh, understanding or analyzing, why should we learn this course. So we basically discuss the following points. So first we'll discuss top 10 highest paid IT jobs. So some of the data that we have gathered will help us understand what are those top 10 highest paid IT jobs are, and then we would also drill down further into the most popular IT roles. Right? So what all IT role is, what is most popular, or what is that most commonly exists in the market. And then we'll get into the technology side. So what all technologies are being used majorly now in the market, and what is on that segment. And then we'll get into that how to become a full stack developer. So what is that we need to learn, and how to approach become a developer over there. And then the fifth point is for those who are purely from who has never done any kind of coding, or who is from non-IT background, who has absolutely no idea how to write a program. So for them, we would just give a gist of small program. We'll write a small program to make them understand that what is a web page and how to create a web page. And it is not that big. It's not that difficult to create a web page or an application to begin with, so that they get a start at this point. Okay, this is what is the program, and this is how I create it. Then we'll move on to the basic idea of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we'll try to get an idea of these three technologies through a web page. So we'll create a web page, and we will see what part of the web page is an HTML and what part is CSS, and at the same way, where JavaScript comes into picture. All right, and the last but not the least, we'll go ahead and discuss what is a database. So we'll because this is one of the backend pillars, so we'll just get into details of it. What is a database, and we'll try to have some idea of what is MySQL and how a table looks like, and how do we create it, how do we access it, how do we view it, and things like that. Excuse me. All right, let's move on. So one of the websites that we researched for our analysis is Naukri.com. So there we found this data. So what they're saying is the top 10 highest paid job in IT sector in 2022 are these, beginning with the data scientist till AR/VR developer. So in this list, one of the roles is full stack developers, which is booming right now. So those, especially those who are changing their careers, or those who are coming into the IT world, they normally begin with the full stack development, because this is the strong pillar, this is the basic or the foundation in coding, as we say. So here they begin with all the development work. Okay. And in full stack development also, it is a global term. I mean, you can become a Java full stack developer, you can become a Python full stack developer, and things like that. So the only difference would be between a Java full stack developer and a Python full stack developer is the backend would be different. I mean, the front end is exactly same thing. We would still use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. However, in the backend logic, we would be using either Java or Python. So that would be the only difference. However, if you pick up a Python full stack development career, there are furthermore advantages. For example, Python is already popular in terms of data science. So data science, when it comes to machine learning, AI, IoT. So all these places, Python is already getting popular because of the powerful libraries it has, at the same time the way it works, the way it functions, and the ease of use. So once you pick up a Python full stack, you not only become a Python full stack developer, you also open your careers to other streams of the highest paid jobs. So that is why this course is there with us, and that's how you can further analyze and join. All right. So this is one of the sources for Naukri.com. Then we also did some research on Forbes magazine. So Forbes also displayed some of the top IT roles, and one of the job they listed is full stack development. So here also, what they're saying is, anyone who carries, who comes into the industry with full stack capabilities is going to be highly compensated. So this is one of the key role in IT at present. So you become full stack developer, you develop a code, and it is one of the highly compensated. The complexity of legacy system, right? So you join a Fortune 500 company. So most of the time, what happens is they already have applications set up in their company, and you get into that and you probably enhance that web application, or you probably migrate into new technologies. Okay, and third would be you have some kind of enhancer or maintenance work which you do. So these are the roles which you fit in, and since you are full stack developer, you can contribute both towards front end and the back end as well. So that is why this is getting popular, right? And the third source which we got into is, so normally we did research in the Google on of full stack developer. That's what it's saying, that they are seeing expected growth of 27% growth by 2024. So it is growing the kind of requirement of, so most of the time. So earlier we used to get commonly, okay, required Java developers or require Python developers, okay, or maybe require front end or UI developers. Nowadays the trend is going towards, we require a full stack developer, or maybe Java full stack developer or a Python full stack developer. So that being said, we are left out with the option to study both, right? So they are giving more weightage to somebody who understand both back end and the front end, and that is why it is booming. So those who are already into UI or into only back end, they are also learning the front end part or the back end part, so that they become the full stack developer. Okay, to capture this market. So this is another source, and then we got into something called Stack Overflow. So they have done a survey. They have done a survey to pull out some reports, and as per their survey, you see the screen. So they have surveyed about 66,000 people, and they have found out that the most popular development role is a full stack development role, right? So whoever is full stack developer, that is highly, the demand of this developer is high because they're able to contribute for both. And then comes into developer backend. So backend, so those are only into backend, they have a requirement of 43%, right? So they support that in terms of popularity. And then it comes to front end. So this used to be a trend. I mean, this used to be a trend in terms of hiring a backend specialist or a front end specialist. But since the trend is changing now, okay, they are focusing into full stack. So this is how the priority goes on, starting with the full stack. All right. Moving on, further when we get to technologies, so what is the most popular technologies that is being used right now? Where JavaScript stays the number one position here, because JavaScript is the code which every website now pretty much uses it for user interactions. So you open a website and you see whatever page, you see whatever links or whatever buttons or whatever forms. Most of these action or events are driven by JavaScript code, and that is how the user feels. So that's why the user interaction is becoming so easy and interesting. Followed by we have HTML CSS. So HTML CSS is, again, we have pretty much all the websites are using. Okay, so this predominantly covers the front end part. So JavaScript, HTML CSS is definitely there. Then comes into Python, SQL, Java, Node.js, and all. So this, in terms of popularity, this technologies exist. So it's up to you what interests you, and what is that you want to be. You want to be a Python full stack, you want to be Java full stack, or you want to be Node.js, right? So these are the most popular technologies right now in the market, and you can pick up whichever interests you or suits you. All right. So then when it comes to database, obviously MySQL is number one here because it is a highly used database. It is open source. database, and the demand is increasing. So from the from the small size company to mid-size companies are using this. Even the large scale or the the bigger companies are using MySQL. So that's how it is getting popularity. And here you see Postgres SQL, SQLite. So SQLite is a database which is inbuilt in Python. Okay, so Python's inbuilt database is SQLite. Then we have MongoDB, Microsoft SQL Server. So all these are the databases which are there in the market in terms of popularity, right? And where we have MySQL as the top position based on the Stack Overflow research what they have done. For 73,000 respondents have given this survey result. All right. Moving into the frameworks. So a lot of frameworks are already in the market, and one of the top used frameworks is React.js, based on Stack Overflow. So now React.js is something which acts as a front end. So all these front end application nowadays you see, for example, Facebook. So, so all the interaction that we do Facebook, the popularity of Facebook or the why people like it most of the time is because the way it interacts with the user friendliness and the responsive time. It is so quick, so responsive, so easy, and this kind of responsive designs, responsive web pages are developed basically using frameworks like React.js, Angular, Vue.js, and things like that. So here, whatever we are covering basically React.js. So you are always in top. So whatever top technologies we are discussing here, most of these are by default covered. But it's up to you what you want to choose and learn to become whatever you want to become in terms of full stack development. Okay. Similarly, we have ASP.NET Core, Flask, ASP.NET, Django. So here Django is another framework which we cover. This comes along with Python. Django is a web framework that we use to develop a website. This is about the technologies. Moving ahead, we have also done some research on the integrated development environment. That is, we use where do we write the program? So the code editor or the code where we write the programs and things like that. So where in that particular section, Visual Studio Code stands first. So this is the most user friendly IDE, the most powerful IDE that most of the developers are using. So here they have done a survey from 82,000 people, and that is what they recommended. So they all recommended or happy with Visual Studio Code, which is what you can use. So these overviews will give you an idea of what softwares is what you need to target first. Especially if you are from a non-IT background, this will give you an idea of, okay, these are the programs, okay, because you go out and you see everything is displayed, but you don't know how to prioritize it. So based on this metrics, you can prioritize the softwares, you can prioritize your course, and you can learn. Similarly, when it comes to code repository, because in a project if multiple people are working, we have to share the code. So multiple people can work on the same project, they will be working on different modules. So what happens is we put all this code in a particular repository where they can access the code or save the code, right? So that is what they basically do it. And then okay, and then moving ahead, so these are the matrices which we cover, top matrices that basically we cover. And now once we have the idea of, okay, what we know what to learn, so what next? So now getting into one more level down, so how to become full stack developer? So it basically consists of two sections, right? Front end and back end section. And if you want to become a front end developer, you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these are the top three technologies that you use for as a front end developer. All right, and once you learn these three technologies, you become a front end. You're able to create a web page. You're able to create some events. You're able to give some of the tasks over there. And now on top of these technologies, we have React.js as a framework. So predominantly we use React.js to code the front end part, and React.js is nothing but it consists of all of these three things. Okay, so we need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript in order to in order to write code using React.js. Similarly, we have a backend section. In the backend, we have Python, Django, MySQL, Java. So any of these things you can use. So MySQL here is just a database that is stored to store data that we retrieve it. And similarly, Django is nothing but a framework. So that framework we use how to program the backend part and how to write the business logic based on the requests we get from the front end. So basically, what happens is front end sends the request to backend, and the backend responds the response back to the front end. Okay, so the backend we have all the logic written, and backend can respond to any of these screens, right? It can be a desktop, it can be a laptop, tablet, or it can be a mobile phone. So these are the front end part. So backend is nothing but you have some set of APIs or maybe some programs that is used. Okay. And this is what the Visual Studio Code. So we use Visual Studio Code to write the programs. So this is the software, and if you want to go download the software, you can always search for Visual Studio Code and go to Microsoft site, and you can always download from there. Okay, right. Now, now this is a small example. What we are trying to understand how to create a small page. This is a snapshot of a small front end no, screen and a file. So you see this front end page. We have a front end demo class, and there's a text box and a button. So you see this screen, and you know and how to create it. For example, you see three sections: the heading, and the text box, and the button. So these three things you can create using HTML. Alright, so if you want to create any of these three things, you can always go to HTML and create it. Now this is the code here which you see on the screen. So in this code, you see we have three sections. So in this case, you see this is an HTML file. So we can always write this HTML file in Visual Studio Code. Okay, now in this case there's a body section. The body section, you have a heading. So you see this particular line, okay, heading front end demo class. So because of this h1 heading is what you can see there, h1 demo class. And here you see there's something called styling. So style color equals blue. So this is what is the CSS part of the cascading style sheet. So using this styling is what the color is becoming blue, and using this h1 tag is what you can see the content. Okay, so the content is coming because of the h1 tag, and this color equals blue is coming because of the style tag. Similarly, below we have some text box. So we have input type equal text, ID equals emp name, placeholder equals enter your name. So because of this placeholder enter your name, you see some text here, enter your name. And here is where you type whatever you want to type, like name you want to type. So that particular thing is getting accepted in this input box. Okay, then below we have a button. So button type equals submit on click. So this is the button which we created using HTML section. However, here you can see an additional command called onClick equals greet. So in this case, when you click on the button, it goes to a greet function. OnClick equals greet, it goes to a greet function. In the greet function, it is telling let n equals emp name dot value. So whatever value we are entering into this text box, that value is getting stored in the variable n. Okay, then you are getting an alert message saying hello that name. And this section is what is JavaScript. So whatever you see inside this section, script, whatever you see, this is what is called, this is what is JavaScript. Okay, now so this is one example which we are seeing on the screen, so that we understand that if you want to create a page like this is a code, and this is not so difficult to write. I mean, it is easily understandable that how code is written, and this code you can write in code editor like Visual Studio. All right. Now, similarly, we have another example here. In this example, you can see there is a web page, and here we have two text boxes: enter value 1, enter value 2, and there is a button, and below there is another text box. So, if you want to write a program, let's say in the first text box I write value 2, and second I write 3, and if I click on submit button, below we get 5. So basically what we are doing, we are trying to add the value of both text boxes and printing in the third text box. How do we do it? So it has basically two sections over here. To display all these text boxes and buttons, we have used HTML. You see here this HTML type equal text, ID equals T1. Again, as input type equal text, ID equals T2, and then input type equal text, ID equals T3. So these three lines are used to create these three text boxes. In between we have a button type equals submit, on click equals submit. So in between we have a button created, and the value that we gave for the button is submit. So this is the HTML section. However, when we click on this button, it calls a JavaScript function. So this is a JavaScript function. Okay. So when we click on this button, it comes here, and what it does is it captures the value of first text box and second text box. Then it adds it and then puts into a third text box called T3. So we are just trying to get a feel of how the program is. You don't have to get into so much of detail here. However, just to get a feel of the program, how a web page is written, and what is a JavaScript, how do we validate it. These kind of things you might already seen in the day-to-day life. Sometimes we log in and give password, it throws an error. It's because of these kind of pages is what they created. All right. Now moving on, so we have some section about database. So database comes as a part of the backend. So most of the applications that we see right now are database driven. That means, uh, so when before computers came into picture, right? So all these things were manual. So all these offices, banks, post offices, all these things were having all the data in a file. So they used to have all this in a file. So the requirement of computer fulfilled over there when computers took over and it started storing the data. So database is the key thing. Everything is a data here, right? So front end and all, we are just manipulating the data. So there's separate softwares, that stores the data, basically meant to store the database. For example, MySQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL, and all these things are databases. So how do we get the database? So this MySQL is an example. So we can always go to MySQL. You can always go to Google, search for MySQL, download. You go to MySQL site and download from there. Okay. So once you download MySQL, you will always get a something like this. You can always search for MySQL command client. You go to command client. Okay, give the password which that you have created, given while creating it. So here is for MySQL prompt you see. So in this MySQL, as a database you see, so a lot of databases can be there in MySQL. So I want to see how many databases are there. So we give show databases. So database. So it is showing me all the database that is there in my laptop or in the server wherever you're working on. Okay. So now in the database you see this database called SkillUp. So I want to get into the database SkillUp. So I give use SkillUp. So now I'm inside this database. Now I want to see how many tables are there in the database, right? So I give select star from. I just give show tables. Show tables. So I can see there are two tables in the database, EMP and students. I want to see what is there inside student table. I give select star from students, and then I can see there are two students in the table. So this is how you access a particular database, how to view a database. Okay. If you want to create it, let's say you want to create a database, you can give a create database and give the DB name. If you give this, database will get created. Okay. And similarly, if you want to create a table, you give create table under table name. Okay. Let's say I give users, and then you give the field names. Okay. What all field names you want, you give as ID equals int, and you can keep giving name. It's just to give a feel, all of you. You don't have to worry much about the coding part. Just give you the feel of how exactly what is a MySQL, how to work on MySQL. So now I'm giving these three fields. This is an example where users a table has been created and there are three fields into that: ID, name, and city. Okay. So similarly, if you want to access a particular thing, we have already seen select. Okay. So now this is the way you create a database and access the table out of it. All right. All right. So this is the basic thing what we have discussed today is about why we should learn full stack development and the metrics that we have seen, why it is so popular, and we have also seen what technologies are popular, what role is popular, what database is popular, and then we got into the details of front end, back end, and we have seen what softwares are used as a front end and back end. What is that we need to focus. Then we have seen Visual Studio Code, which is a code editor, which is where we have to write the code. Okay. Then we have seen example of small web page. how to create it. This is an example on HTML page, and what is HTML here, what is script, and what is CSS. Okay. Here's another example wherein we had two text boxes, actually two numbers, and we try to submit button and we get a result as an addition of it, and this is the code for it. It is just a simple piece of code which achieves this particular goal. Okay. And then we have seen a database and how to create database, how to create table, insert view. So these are some of the basic things that to be aware of in case you want to shift your career or you want to come into this IT world. You should be able to get the idea of all these things. Okay. What next? You can always go to this particular website is our website skillup.net.in. You can always go there, this website, and you can always scroll through. All the information is over here. Okay. You can always go through, all the information is there, what courses are there and things like that, all the matrices and all the availability, everything is over here. You can get other information, and from here you can move on and capture the details. Right. So with this, I would like Monica to cover and give you some more overview or the next step what you could do once you have this idea. What is the next step? Okay, what all we can do using this and how to move forward. All right. Just give me a second, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Now, guys, as I told you earlier, this full stack development is a combination of both front end and back end. And so once you are done with this, I'm sure that you'll be booming the IT industry without any major efforts and difficulties. So here again, I'm going to show you that the contact details, that is you can always contact on this number, and along with that you can just browse the net. That is our web address is www.skillup.net, and enrolling in this or registering in this, you will be getting the all updates regarding the courses and the classes and batches and fees and everything. And I would like to share 2 3 points basically here. First one is, after going through this session, I just wanted to know whoever are looking for bright futures and careers, uh, and how they are going to choose your lives, and how the things are going to take shape. And one more thing is, uh, one more abandonment what we can give from our side is, we are going to give you an 1 week demo sessions that will be starting from 10th October, so that you can just attend the sessions, and if you are interested and well versed with us, and if you get confidence that you are going to learn easily with our support, and you can directly enroll with us, and this will be a great life changing opportunity for you. And please do remember this contact number. And one more challenge from one more assurance we are giving for you is, we are going to place each and every enrolled candidate in our training programs a job into IT sector within just 90 days. Okay, it's not even like 3 months. So this is a challenge accepting by us to provide India, provide the nation or any graduate a good career, and to uh, enhance your skills and enhance your capabilities. We are just taking a trial of 90 days, and in that 90 days, we are going to make you feel free and get ready for the industry. So, as my colleague Mr. Praveen has told you regarding the sessions and how will be the future of full stack developer, and how will be the sessions and how will be the training part. So, I think you don't have much doubts regarding the session. So if in case you are having any doubts, you can just ping us through the mails, or you can call us through the from the given numbers to the given numbers. We are always available. And if in case you require any assistance, please feel free to register in our website and get known through the experts. Okay. Yeah. So I hope this will be the ending session. So let us all wind up. Thank you, guys.